obviously, since we don't have so much time, I can't give too much, but I thought I'll just share some, leave some thoughts for you guys, and I'll be happy to take questions at the end as well. One of the things that many founders whom I talk to, they say that, "Bhai, ye sales itna unpredictable kyun hai? Why is sales such an unpredictable thing? Why can't we just have something that's predictable, reliable, and can you help?" So based on that, I came up with this topic, that how can we make sales like an engine, like a car engine. So that's what I'm going to be discussing with you guys today. Let me just share my screen. So my topic is how to create a sales engine. Okay. So the first thing that I wanted to share with all of you people is, when we are looking at all the when we are looking at all the businesses that we are running in, we are running different kinds of businesses, and businesses, all businesses need a good sales sales kind of engine to be able to run a sustainable business. And while you have sales people, while you have a sales team, and they are spread out, sometimes all over the country, sometimes all over the world, sometimes sitting in your head office, but sales don't always happen the way we would like it to. So what are the challenges that are faced by startups and small and mid-sized companies? I'll just share some of the thoughts that I have heard by talking to so many founders over the years. So the most important thing here is basically lack of clarity, right? We don't have clarity कि भाई कैसे होगा, how will things happen. So for example, one lack of clarity is, who should our customers be? If you're if you're an established company, you've been running business for 5, 10, 15 years, we are pretty much sorted, we are clear about some of these things. But when you're a startup, you're a fairly new company, just having clarity कि कौन है हमारा customer, कहाँ से आएगा, should I be doing business in India, should I be doing business in outside India, should I talk only to enterprise clients, or should I be talking to the mid-size market? Who should our customers be? Now I know who are my customers. Where do I find them? How do I find them? Right? This is one of the big challenges. People have no clarity how to find the customers that they're looking for. Then the next thing is, what is the correct sales strategy? Now, I've figured out whom I want to target, how I'll target. Now, what is my strategy? How do I target these people? What is the correct structure? What is the kind of process? What do I do? So this is about strategy. So this is another challenge. People are not very clear. Many people, what we do is, I've done this, I've been guilty of this as well, that once you've decided, okay, I'm going after the small and mid-sized market, here is where I can find them, bas abhi lag jao, just start attacking that market, start reaching out, hire some sales people, tell them, start calling every day, but that's not the best way to do it, because if you do it that way, you may end up making a lot of mistakes. So sales strategy is important. How many sales people do I need? Should I hire just one person, 2 people, 8 people, 15 people? How do I know? So having clarity about the right size of the sales team is also a challenge. Now, again, if you have hired a sales team, all of you would know, those of you who are founders or who have a sales team with them, would know that it's always a challenge to figure out, how many people I should have in the field who are meeting with customers face to face physically, vis-a-vis how many should be inside sales, sitting in my head office and calling people and remotely trying to sell. In what situation should I have this, and what situation should I have field people? Should I have experienced people? Should I have interns? So there is a tendency for startups to hire interns, that because they come cheap, but then they have a very long, learning cycle. So what can I do to get them productive quickly? So these are some of the challenges. Then this is the favorite challenge, that many people, many founders tell me, कि भाई ये लोग deal close क्यों नहीं कर पाते? Why are they not able to close deals? What is the challenge? What is stopping them? What are they doing wrong? because मैंने तो सब सिखा दिया. I taught them everything. And I've done my best to give them all understanding of my product, of my market, what to tell the customer. सब तो सिखा दिया, फिर भी they are not able to sell. What's the issue? So this is my favorite, personal favorite. I hear this most often. Deal close क्यों नहीं कर पाते? I am providing leads to them, but they're not able to close anything. Then another one, which is often for founders or for sales leaders, sales managers, this is a big headache. That why am I spending so much time on the deals? Isn't it the sales people, after I have given them all information, why can't they close the deals? हर deal में मुझे क्यों involve होना पड़ता है? How much bandwidth can I give? Right? I mean, it's a practical constraint, because if a founder is spending most of their time on going to the customer and convincing them to buy and closing a deal, when will they focus on more important strategic things, like how is my product doing, how's my service doing, which new markets do I need to get into, how's my delivery performing, how's my production performing, whatever, right? So it's not just about sales. The founder has to look at other aspects of the business. Now, if they are running after every deal, it's not a scalable thing, so this is another challenge. Then another thing that troubles a lot of founders, and this is again a serious problem, because if you don't get this right, then you may have a good sales team, but they'll leave you, they'll not stay with you. Retaining good salespeople is one of the biggest challenges. What motivates salespeople the most? Not our motivational talks, not our brilliant sales strategy. What really motivates them is money. Right? A good sales guy is motivated by money. So how do I pay incentive? Kitna dena hai inko? I believe, so many founders tell me, I believe I've got a very generous incentive scheme. But still these people are not performing. I don't know what is the issue, so like that. So this is another challenge. And finally, how do I manage the sales team, right? What do I do to manage the sales team so that they can perform? So at this moment, I'll just open up and ask, those who are on the call, I'd love to hear from you guys also. Are there any other challenges that you are facing as a sales leader or as a business leader, related to sales? Any other challenges anyone would like to share? This is my thinking, and this is what I have heard from clients, but I'd love to hear from others.
Actually, good morning, Siddharth. My name is Preet Dhingra. I would add to this that sometime when most of the time, actually, we train some people. There are 150,000 competitors already there in the city, what kind of work we do. And after 3 months, they just leave and go to other place. They are getting 5,000 rupees more and they leave. You train someone and then he leaves. What should we do that? And there is no benchmark. You can ask a person to join at 25,000. Same person is going on 35, then 40, 45. Whether he's worth it or not, that doesn't make difference. People are always looking for the people, and you train them and they leave.
True.
That is the big challenge we are facing.
This is a fact. It's a problem with almost all the small startups, small companies face this problem. I'll take questions in the end, Preet. I'm happy to take questions in the end, but I take that as an additional challenge. Retaining sales people is a
this is a challenge. This is a challenge actually. It is not only with the sales, it is in the production also.
Absolutely. Any other challenges? Any other thoughts? Anybody? Thanks for sharing, Preet.
Yeah, hi Siddharth, this is Naveen. So I have a question, like, once you innovate some product, you go with your creativity and customer likes it, everything is approved. उनकी पूरी टीम को पसंद आ जाता है, वो decide कर देते हैं कि okay, we will distribute this product, I will take this product. But again, they have a purchase system, so they have RFQ systems. In RFQ system, there are many competitors, obviously. But after deciding the material and after taking every decision, they get the better price, but not the quality.
So Navneet, I'll do one thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll do one thing. I'll take questions at the end, okay? Because we have, I think, short time in which you have to complete quite a few things. So I'll take questions at the end. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just run a quick poll, for everyone. These questions are still on the board, but out of these questions, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you can pick. I'm just sending this poll right now. You can pick, which are the top three, which you feel challenges that resonate with you out of these challenges for your business. Which are the top three that resonate with you? If you can just quickly, if you've received the poll, you can just quickly select the top three. You can select four also if you feel there's one more that really hurts you. But I'd love to hear from you, the feedback. I'll give you a minute. And sorry, Navneet, I'll take your question in the end if possible.
No worries.
Yeah.
Siddharth, how about the solopreneur? People like me who are working at an individual space and an individual pace. So I don't have a sales team. I don't have a thing. So I think
you are the salesperson. You are the salesperson, and you may have some of these challenges too. Instead of salespeople, it will be you.
Single person army.
Yeah. All right, so I'll end this poll right now. Another 10 seconds. Anyone else who wants to fill it, just complete it quickly, and we'll end in. Okay, great. I'm ending the poll now. Thank you for your responses. Just sharing the results. Let me see. Are you all able to see these results? Are the results visible? Somebody just confirm.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So the important ones: correct sales strategy. Why can't my sales team close deals? What incentive should I pay? So these are some of the challenges, genuine challenges. That we are looking at. From a business perspective, from running a sales team perspective. So these challenges, if I don't do anything about them, if I don't address these challenges and I just kind of ignore them, shove them under the carpet, what happens? It has an impact on my business. What impact does it have? If I am not clear about my target segment, I waste time on connecting to incorrect accounts, who I spend long time trying to convince. They never understand my value proposition, and I waste time. I don't get business, and then I am, sadder but wiser. Maybe after a year or so, I realize that, oh God, I lost a year. So you can imagine the impact. Each of these has an impact. Each of these impacts has an impact on the revenue of the business, right? A wrong strategy leading to high cost and lost business. If you have the wrong strategy, if I decide that, oh, I will go international market, oh, I will go, only enterprise accounts, I will go only to conglomerates, whatever, right? You choose the wrong strategy, it may end up, with lost business. It may end up with very high cost structure, and you realize that after a year or 6 months, and then readjusting your business, readjusting everything, and coming back on track takes time. Wrong hiring. Now, if you hired too many people, that is a problem. If you have hired too few people, that is a problem. We all know what is the cost of hiring a wrong person, right? This profile, what I mentioned, you hire a wrong person, Sometimes, you know, I've had this conversation with a few founders. They say, "Arey yaar, big deal, you know, kitna? I'm just paying that person 6 lakhs. 6 lakh uska salary hai. So if that person is working with me for, you know, 6 months and then I remove that person because he's a non-performer, she's a non-performer, my loss is only 3 lakhs. But that person, that company's loss is not 3 lakhs. The loss is much more, because by the time 6 months have passed, if the person was carrying even, let's say, 1 CR target, right? And in 6 months, no business has come. By the time you realize the wrong person, you hire a new person, that person comes up to speed, 9 months have passed. And 1 CR, out of that 1 CR, if you are lucky, you'll probably end up getting some 20-25 lakhs. So 75% of that person's number is gone. So that is a huge loss. Now imagine somebody is carrying a 10 CR target or a 20 CR target, right? It starts getting really heavy. So hiring wrong people or wrong numbers has a significant impact on the business. We all know what low win rates does to us, right? I mean, we are working on multiple deals, but we don't end up winning. We just keep losing deals, right? It's very frustrating. It leads to attrition. Good people leave the company if they feel कि यार यहाँ पे कितना भी effort डालो, I can't win, you know. And we as the founder or as a sales leader, we don't have the bandwidth to get into the details and figure out what is going on, क्या किसकी वजह से हो रहा है, and business is down. Again, lower deal values. If we are not doing it right, we are not selling correctly, we are not negotiating properly, we are not selling our value properly, customers tend to squeeze us. They tend to squeeze us and, you know, negotiate till we are dead practically, and we end up with lower deal values. Demotivated sales team. If a team is not being managed properly, the team is demotivated. So all of these we can imagine have an impact on our business. Our revenue gets hurt, our bottom line gets hurt, our team morale gets hurt. All of these have a very significant impact on our business. So what is the solution? What can we do, you know, to address some of these challenges? That's what I'm going to try and share with you people over the next 15-20 minutes, whatever time we have available. So I said sales engine, right? I said that, you know, a sales engine is a good way for us to, you know, figure out some of these challenges and proactively address them, right? So let's talk about first, what are the characteristics of a good engine? You know, if you're looking at an engine of a car or of a motorcycle, what characteristics does an engine have? And when we design a sales engine, the sales engine should also have similar characteristics. First, it is designed for high performance, right? It's obvious. It has to perform well. It has to be reliable. ऐसा नहीं कि भाई एक बार चला, अगले महीने नहीं चला, उसके नेक्स्ट महीने चला, उसके 2 महीने नहीं चला, ऐसे नहीं. It has to be reliable, consistent. One of the most important characteristics of a salesperson, I always tell, you know, salespeople ask me that what does a manager look for in a salesperson? Big deals, you know, big forecast. No, I say the most important thing is, are you reliable? Can I rely on you? If you say that you will do $500,000 or I'll do, you know, maybe 30 lakhs in this quarter, can I rely on you that 30 lakhs hoga, boss? Ye bol raha to hoga, right? That is the most important thing. So sales engine has to be reliable. It has to be efficient. I can't end up spending. One moment, there's some disturbance.
Yeah, it's sorted, please.
Ayushi, can you just mute anyone who
Yes.
speaks out of turn? Yeah, sorry. Okay, it has to be efficient. We shouldn't have to waste too much money on, you know, setting it up and very expensive resources. It has to be efficient. It has to be low cost, efficient. It has to be low maintenance. You know, not that यार एक बार ये डाल दिया तो यार दिन रात मेरे को ये engine को maintain करते रहना पड़ेगा. Who spends so much time on maintenance? We maintain our cars and vehicles maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months, right? We don't keep on tweaking it every day. We don't open the bonnet to see कि भाई आज चल रहा है ना, भाई आज mood कैसा है तेरा, right? We allow the machine to just keep running, and it just keeps running. And that's the beauty. If we set up a sales engine, it can work like this, right? And you know what Hero Honda used to advertise many years back, right? Fill it, shut it, and forget it. Ideally, a sales engine should be like that. That, you know, we don't have to worry about it. Once you've made the choice, this is my engine. After that, you know, fill it, shut it, and forget it. So what are the characteristics of a good sales engine, right? So this is the you know, go push sales engine, you know, framework that you know, I share. It has 5 spokes. I'll talk about each of these as we go along. So here also designed for high performance, reliable, efficient, low maintenance. Of course, only difference is don't fill it, shut it, and forget it. You have to maintain it, which is where the sales cadence part comes in, and I'll talk about it as we go along. Okay. So let's look at the sales engine. What is the starting point of a sales engine? Of a good vehicle. The starting point is first you should be clear, bhai, mujhe jana kahan hai? Where do I want to go? What is my target for the year? This year I did 30 crores. Next year I want to do 45 crores, or I want to do 70 crores or 60 crores, or maybe even I want to do 35 crores, whatever it is, right? Depending on the industry I'm working in, depending on my competitive situation, depending on my hunger and ambition, right, and what resources I have at my command, I decide on a particular target. That has to have a logic, right? The target is always the most important thing from a sales perspective, deciding what number my team needs to work on, right? What is it that they will go after? They should be motivated to do it. वो number देख के वो लोग ऐसा हौसला गवाना नहीं चाहिए. They should not be losing hope just by looking at the number. Oh God, this will never happen. They should feel motivated. They should feel inspired. And once you have set the sales target, then we set the sales engine around it, right? So sales target is like my bull's eye. I want to hit that bull's eye at the end of the year, ideally even before the end of the year. If that happens, brilliant. But if I can't do that, at least by the end of the year, I should be somewhere close to the sales target, right? So what are these components of the sales engine? Like a physical engine has got multiple important parts. It's got the piston, it's got the cylinder, it's got the crankshaft and various things. Same way, a sales engine, in my opinion, has these 5 main components. There could be more, obviously. This is my thinking. There could be more, but here's my thoughts. So the first thing is we need to have a proper sales strategy. As they say, those who fail to plan to fail. If we don't plan properly, we don't have clarity as founders, as leaders. If we don't have clarity in our mind, कि भाई धंधा कहाँ से आने वाला है? Where is the business going to come from? Which markets am I going to target? Who are my customers? What's my value proposition? And if I don't have clarity about that, how's my business going to pan out? It's going to be every day is going to be just a jugaad for me, right? So let's share what are the thoughts, what are the questions that I need to answer as part of my sales strategy, so that I at least this one element of my sales engine is in place. So first, if I want to grow from point X to point Y in revenue, what should my sales strategy be, right? So this is the first fundamental question, that breaking down my number from point A to point B, what should my what do you say? What should my strategy be? I don't know if the whiteboard is enabled here. It doesn't seem to be. That's okay. So anyway, so we all know that if you are at point A and you want to go to point B, right, or point A to point B, if you are growing at this rate and you want to reach this, there is something that is called a planning gap. That planning gap means that I'm doing business in a particular way today, right? There's a particular set of customers I'm going after, particular kind of products I have, particular kind of pricing, positioning, everything that I have. But with that, I'm growing at, let's say, 18% per annum CAGR. But the plan that I have to grow at 30% CAGR. So just doing what I'm doing today will not get me there. It will help me to grow. Maybe 18 will become 20, 22. It will not become 30%. So that is what is strategy. So what should my sales strategy? What are the initiatives I need to take in my business in order to get from point A to point B, point X to point Y? Then what is our business plan for the same, right? How do I break up that revenue? If I have got Y, I want to reach, let's say, from 30 CR, I want to touch, let's say, 45 CR. So last year I did 30. How much of that business is going to repeat? Then the, let's say 30 may say 25, I'm sure will repeat. Okay. So then I have to do 20 CR more. Where will that 20 CR come from? From which markets? From which geographies? from what product line, which product line will sell more, which new product that I've launched, how much business will come from that. All of this is business planning. And then breaking it down into targets by geography, by salesperson, that's what business planning is. This is also part of sales strategy. Then, which region should I target? Now, this is very important, right? Those who are doing business in India, typically we all start out in west or north, and then south and east. South comes later, east comes last, right? Now, having clarity about which region to target when and with how many salespeople, right? So this is all part of my sales strategy. One very important question, you may say, ये तो बड़ा obvious है, who is my target audience, right? Whom am I going after and why? Target audience is sometimes very easy to define. But I go after CPG market, consumer product goods, or I go after banking, finance services, financial services, insurance, BFSI, and I go after manufacturing. But यही है, ये तीन ही है. Okay, great. Now within this, should I go to companies that are 500 crore and below? Should I go to 500 crore and above? Should I be talking conglomerates? Should I be talking to large enterprise clients? In large enterprise clients, who should I talk to? Should I talk to the CIO? Should I talk to the head of procurement? Should I talk to the CFO? Should I talk to all of them? Who's my target audience, right? This is very important to understand. Salespeople also need to have clarity. You may tell them, but talk to the business, talk to the business. But if the business doesn't care about your value proposition, no matter how much you talk to the business, they're not going to listen. They're not interested, right? So salespeople lose faith after some time. Na bolte ki yaar ye kuch hone wala nahi hai, nikal jao yahan se, right? So to one of the questions that had come, why do people leave? Because they don't feel ki I can succeed here. Something is wrong hai, kuch to gadbad hai, mera nahi hone wala yahan pe. So they leave, right? So who's my target audience? What is my value proposition for them? This is extremely important. Do I, as a founder, as a sales leader, do I understand what is valuable for my customer? What is their pain area? What exactly is their pain point? And what part of my solution is addressing that pain area? Am I clear? If I am not clear, believe me, the sales team will not be clear. Even if I am clear, see, because as a founder, because we have been running the business for some time, hame sab pata hota hai. We know the business like the back of our hand, but the sales team will not know it. So it is important for us to clearly enunciate it, clearly state it, so that the team knows ki bhai kya hai, what is this value proposition. And the client also, because if a value proposition is well stated, clearly stated, as soon as a stakeholder, a business stakeholder sees that statement, immediately they feel, these people have understood my problem. Inko mera dukda samajh gaya hai. So immediately they will want to connect with us. But if, maybe not immediately, maybe over a period of time, but at least if they see that we are talking the right things, we are saying the right things, we are talking about their problems, then people are able to connect to us much better. Then, how good is my product market fit? This is again a strategy thing that, मैंने तो product बना दिया भाई, मेरा तो pricing बन गया, अभी माल बेचो तुम. Doesn't work like that. We have to think about, is my product fitting the challenges that my target audience is going after, and so on. So these are all these sales strategy questions that one needs to answer, as part of the sales. And this is the starting point, right? Because if I don't get this right, बाकी का जो भी कुछ भी कर लो, it is not going to work for you, because you are aiming in the wrong direction. So first decide, where is my aim, where is my organization's focus and resources going to be targeted towards. That's sales strategy. Then the second element of the sales engine is sales structure. Right now that I have a strategy in place, I've decided कि भाई ये market जाऊंगा, ये product होगा, ये value proposition होगा. Now that I've decided this, my next thing is sales structure. What sales team do I need to have which will support this strategy, which will execute on this strategy? Because if you don't have a good team to execute, कितना भी बढ़िया strategy बना लो, it's going to fall flat on its face. So therefore, sales team. So first thing is how many sales people. It can't be a random thing. मुझे लगता है कि एक बंबई में रखो, एक दिल्ली में रखो, एक बैंगलोर में रखो, और एक चेन्नई में रखो, बस हो जाएगा यार, धंधा हो जाएगा. Well, if your cost of your salesperson is very high and the revenue they're going to get is not so much, and you're not well funded, what you'll end up doing is you'll hire 4 people, but business doesn't come in 6 months, you'll end up sacking 3 of them, which is criminal. It's actually, I say it is your fault. It's your bad. It's not the salesperson's fault. It's your bad. You're not really thought through that. Do I really need a salesperson? I can manage with one person for Bangalore and Chennai to start with. Dhanda aane do, fir main aur log launga. So how many salespeople do I need, right? Then would they be field people? Would they be inside? This has become all the more relevant now after the lockdown. When lockdown, everyone was working like an inside salesperson, right? Everyone was calling, calling and discussing the client, doing Zoom calls and so on and so forth. But today, now that the thing has opened up, and there's still a bit of a reluctance to go into the market and sell. Salespeople don't want to go out in the market and sell. And customers are also, okay, yaar, Zoom pe kar lete, right? So they are also not very sure that they want to meet too many people. So all the more having clarity, do I have field, do I have inside? Should I sell through partners? Bhai, mera team chodo, partners ke through becho, and I'll keep one person to manage the partners. Important decision. Should I have field, inside, or partner? Then in my sales team, what should be the breakup? Kitne hunter hone chahiye? Kitne farmer hone chahiye? Hunters are those who go out and get new accounts. Farmers are those who work in existing accounts and grow them. What proportion should I have? So these are again important questions related to structure. Similarly, where would they be based? We discussed this. Mumbai rakhenge. International market. If I want to go after the US market, should I immediately hire a salesperson? I don't know what the thoughts are here. Should I immediately hire a salesperson in the US? This is something that is very important for me to think through, right? There are so many considerations that go into deciding where to keep your salespeople and at what point to put an on-site person in the US, Europe, which are very expensive markets. Yeah, the deal sizes are 5x of what we get here in India. But the risk is also that much. The cost structure is also at least 3.5 or 4x. So we have to think about these things. Then how experienced should they be? कि भाई सारे intern डालूंगा या फिर मैं थोड़े I'll work with a few experienced people. What mix should I have? This is an important question. Whom should they report to? Should they report to the founder? If I have a team of, let's say, 4 salespeople, should I hire a sales manager or should they all report to me? This is also a good question to think about. Okay, at what point do I add a sales manager? Because sales manager is a cost. You may say it's a cost. यार ये कुछ इसको कोई target दे सकते हैं क्या? Can we give a target to the sales manager also along with the team? So these are some questions that come to the mind related to sales structure. If we have right answers to these questions, then the second element of our sales engine is in place. So sales strategy followed by sales structure. Now let's go to the third one, which is sales process. Okay. So sales process is what? Sales process is about how do I execute on my sales? I may have created a structure. Now I put a team in place. What happens is more often than not, sales people do their own thing. I'm sure all of you have experience of this. Sales people are the most difficult community in the world to manage. You can manage any other function within the organization fairly easily, but sales people are the most difficult to control because they are independent by nature. उनको अपना खुद का करना होता है. Now, if you know that a particular way of prospecting, particular way, works, and they are doing it in a different way, and similarly, how to sell value. The founder knows because he or she has sold in the past and knows that ये बोलने से नहीं होता, ये कहने से होता है, ये सवाल पूछने से उनको they get interested in our solution. They know, they just know it. They may not have clearly communicated this to the sales team. So the sales team does their own thing. वो अपने हिसाब से माल बेचते हैं. And therefore, there's so much variation that we can't get a consistent, reliable, so the reliability of the sales engine very much depends on the sales process that is followed. कि भाई ऐसे ही करेंगे तो हमारा business ऐसे आएगा. So sales process, how should we do our prospecting? So sales cycle, the sales cycle starts with prospecting. That how do we get our leads? You know, you may say, "Arey bhai, I've got a marketing team. Why does the sales team need to rely on, bring their own leads?" Well, my philosophy is, even if you have a marketing team, salesperson should not rely on. He can be, he or she can receive leads, but if you are completely depending on a marketing team to do your business, best of luck to you. So you have to be very clear. Salespeople need to do their own prospecting as well, so that in case marketing doesn't deliver, they are not left high and dry. So how to do prospecting? How to send emails? How to how to send a LinkedIn invite? How to follow up on LinkedIn? What to say in the cold call or warm call you're making? What statements should you make? What things should you say? How to do your prospecting, right? This needs to be clear. Second, how should we qualify? Qualify meaning what? Qualifying is basically trying to understand that this customer or prospect whom I'm talking to, are they worth my time? And am I worth their time also? Both. You have to look at both. Because sometimes hum log, our famous Indian jugaad, there, even if we know that our solution doesn't meet a customer's requirements, we still bid for the business. Yeah, hum kaise bhi kar lenge yaar, jugaad kar lenge, we'll figure out a way, we'll find a way. So what happens is you end up wasting not only sales and pre-sales time, you end up wasting time of product team also. कि boss ये feature चाहिए boss, ये तो चाहिए. Delivery team को बोलते हैं boss ये तुम resource hire करो, करेंगे हम लोग. We'll somehow make it happen, right? So qualifying is very important. Qualifying our leads, understanding why should anyone do anything? Why should they? When should they do it? When will this deal close? Will they go with us or not? Having answers to these questions, why do anything, why now, and why us, is a very important part of qualification. If you're talking large complex deals, qualification is a science. There's a lot of other things that we need to figure out to really qualify a deal. But at least at a basic level, we should know कि भाई ये customer, is it worth our time or not? Are they going to even entertain us? If they're not, then मैं बहुत ज़्यादा time and resources उसमें नहीं डालूंगा. Even if it's a perfect target account for me, but I know that यहाँ पे दाल नहीं गलने वाली, it is not going to sell. Then why waste my time, right? After some point I should realize, no, I think better I move on. Let me spend that same time on some other account which will close. That is intelligence. Don't waste 6 months and then realize, oh God, yahan to kuch niklega nahi, nothing's coming out of this, right? To be very clear about how to qualify deals. In my opinion, in that whole sales process, qualifying deals is the most important part. Right? At least when we're talking of the IT business. Of course, in manufacturing it is not so relevant, but in the IT business, qualifying a deal is the most important aspect of the whole sales cycle. Then what information do I need to collect as part of the qualifying thing? What questions do I need to ask? How do we present our solution? How do we do quote unquote value selling, right? Every sales guy has their own style of selling, and they believe that cheap though, just give everything to the customer, just drown them in a whole sea of information, and somehow magically they will figure out ki bhai kya, how this solves my problems. This is very good, I must go with this. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. So how to sell value, how to propose, how to sell value, how do we manage our stakeholders, right? Who are our stakeholders? किस से हमको बात करनी पड़ेगी? ये डील में कौन डिसीजन मेकर है? Who are the people involved in this deal? Who's going to decide? Who's going to finance it? Who's going to implement it? Who's going to use it? We need to have clarity, and we need to map those people, right? So that's sales process. How do we handle objections? When people raise an objection, sales people get very irritated if a customer raises objections. I see it as a good thing. If a customer is raising an objection that, "Arey, this is okay, but," I see that as a good thing. It's actually a sign that the customer is engaged. Instead of us getting defensive, we need to handle that objection. And there's a technique for doing that. So what is our process? What do we do when someone raises an objection? Are my sales team clear about it? And finally, how do we negotiate and close? It's very easy to say, "Bhai, hum unko ek margin de dete hain, wo margin ke andar close karo." And then we see that unko margin de ke bhi deal close nahi hua. Even though we gave the walkaway price, the deal didn't close. What happened? What is going wrong here? So sales process is about identifying a best practice method of selling to our target clients and making sure all the sales people in the organization are aligned to it. That is why training becomes important. Training them on understanding कि भाई कैसे आपको prospecting करना है, क्या language डालना है उसमें, questions कैसे पूछने हैं, how to sell value. All this they need to have clarity. It is our responsibility as founders, owners, sales leaders to ensure that my entire sales team is aligned and trained. Don't just assume कि भाई मैंने बताया था उनको यार और क्या करूं. No, train them formally, either train them yourself or engage an external trainer, but get it done. All right. So this is the sales process, the third element. Now, as I was saying, that best of sales strategies and structure and process, if your compensation plan is not proper, sales people will not perform. So of course, as I said, it may also happen sales compensation is brilliant, but the other components are not. Still, you won't get results. But this is very important because sales people are heavily motivated by money, right? So what is a fair fixed salary? I'm thinking that for this market, I can't do with, management interns. I need to hire people with at least 5-6 years experience. If you are clear about that, what's a good salary to pay them? Well, 5-6 years sales experience, the market salary is so much. Fine, but how much do you need to pay? What is your brand value? Will people come to you at market salary, or do you need to pay higher? Or can you manage with lower, but maybe a little less hi-fi sales guy, but with good attributes? So these things, that what is the fair fixed salary? Then variable, what ratio should my fixed to variable be? I remember when we were in SAP and Oracle, our fixed to variable was 50-50. So 50% of my salary was fixed and 50% was variable, which meant that in a year, if you don't do your number, you lose 50% of your salary. I mean, that's really painful. Right? That ensures that every sales guy is running really hard to do their numbers. And if they do more than their numbers, if they overachieve, well, then they really earn great money, right? That's how it works. How now, even if I create a variable compensation plan, how do I link it to performance, right? So what slabs at 50%, how much do I pay? At 80%, how much do I pay? At 100%, how much do I pay? So linking the performance of the salesperson with the with the compensation. How and when do I pay it out? Do I pay it as soon as the deal happens? Do I pay it? Oops, my video is gone. Yeah. Do I pay it as soon as the deal happens and gets paid? Do I pay it at the end of the quarter? Do I pay it at the end of the year? Right? No matter what you do, when I speak to founders, I tell them 2 principles about sales compensation. 2 principles, right? Very important to learn. One, sales compensation should be clear. 2 C's, I call it. It should be very clear that any salesperson, when they read it, even an idiot should be able to understand that if I do this much, I will make this much money. It should be very clear. It should not be filled with complex if then else scenarios. It should be clear. Make it clear. Second, it should be consistent. Right? A salesperson should know that if they are saying year end, come hell or heaven or high weather, whatever happens, I will be paid my money. I have done my number, I'll be paid. Even if the company has not done its number, I have done my number, I will get my variable. If salespeople are very clear about this and they have confidence that they will be paid, they will be motivated. Then the quantum that you're paying is not so important. Should the variable compensation be 3 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs? That's a detail.
Meeting
Okay. Yes. Everyone is muted.
Sorry. Yeah. So how and when do I pay it out? What is the slider for overperformance? If someone overperforms, what kind of an accelerator am I giving? If somebody is underperforming, How are they losing money? They have to lose money. It can't happen that by I did 50% of my number, give me 50% of my variable. Doesn't work like that, right? So sales compensation, again, last is how is my management compensated? I may have a compensation model for my team, but is the manager also equally motivated to get that number? Are the pre-sales team also equally motivated to get that number? The technical selling team. If not, you're going to have a mismatch. Salespeople will be running like crazy, but the rest of the organization is not aligned. So these are some of the questions that one needs to think about. The fourth element of the sales engine, and the last component of the sales engine is, you may, like I said, you may set up all four, but you need someone to manage the whole process, right? Someone has to manage the process for you. So who does that? It is sales management. So sales management, whether it is the founder who is doing sales management or you are hiring a salesperson to do it, sales manager to do it, either ways, they need to manage this expertly. Otherwise, all four other elements will not come together. This is the person who orchestrates and brings everything together and makes sure that the engine is running nice and smooth, reliable, efficient and everything. So how frequently should I be doing reviews with sales? Should I do it weekly? Should I do it monthly? Should I do it fortnightly? Do it daily? What is it, right? My 2 cents on this, whatever frequency you decide is good. Daily, okay. Monthly, okay. Weekly, okay. All okay. Depends on your kind of business, right? You have a very low value, high frequency business, daily is a good thing. But if you have a not so high frequency business, maybe weekly is good enough. If you're doing very high value deals and very few deals, maybe even quarterly, maybe even monthly or fortnightly is enough, right? So the idea is that how frequently, whatever frequency you decide, the important principle here is ensure that it is clearly communicated to the sales team. And no matter what happens at that time, if it is a Monday morning 10:30, Monday morning 10:30, the call has to happen. Kuch bhi ho jaye. Every week or every fortnight, whatever frequency you decide. So this is very important. Then what is a good format? Should it feel like a wrestling match? Should it feel like a boxing match where one person's hands are tied, the other one is only boxing? What should the format be? What's a good format for a sales cadence? This is another thing to think about. Ki bhai, what is working? मैं इनको हर हफ्ते में इनको stun gun लेके I'm shooting at them. Is it working? Are they able to appreciate what I'm saying? Are they getting it, right? So this is very important. What's the good format? Then the next question is, how should I analyze? So salespeople give me a forecast. How do I analyze it? How do I interpret? If one person says, this comes with experience. You have a sales team, you say, okay, Ramesh, what's your forecast? My forecast is 1 million. Okay, so in your mind, you're saying 1 million, ye 1.3 karega. And another person you ask, Manish, what's your forecast? He says, mine is 500K. And in your mind, you already decided ये तो zero करेगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा, right? That comes with experience, being able to interpret the numbers given by the sales team. But this is important because a sales leader is accountable to the management, is accountable to the board of the company, because he or she is promising a number, which is then used to finally roll up and go to the investors कि भाई इस quarter में इतना होगा. It's a very important role, being able to analyze and interpret sales forecasts. How should I motivate the team? This is a question a lot of people ask me कि भाई कैसे motivate करें? सब तो कर रहे हैं यार, पैसा दे रहे हैं, सब कुछ दे रहे हैं. How to motivate? So one simple thing, obviously, as I said, sales people like independence. They don't like someone breathing down their neck all the time. They're adults. So coaching them, asking them what do they think they did well, what do they think could have been done better, is probably a better way than just telling them, yaar, tu to useless hai, you are this, you are that, you didn't do the number, again you didn't deliver. No one likes to be berated and scolded in corporate environment unless it is really essential, right? So it's important to understand how to motivate the team. How do I handle poor performance, right? If somebody is not doing well, then what to do? Should I, at what point do I decide ki bhai, chalo yaar, it's not working out, you please leave, right? So how do I handle poor performance? I have this benchmark that I use, that and I'll end with this. This is my second, just last 1 or 2 slides, I'm done. I use this benchmark that if you're looking at sales, the first thing to look at is how much number has the person done. Is the person on target? Are they doing their numbers consistently or not? If they're not doing their numbers, then the second thing comes: how much pipeline have they built? What is the future performance looking like? Current performance is not great, but is there, at least, have they sown the seeds for future performance? Do they have a genuine pipeline? They don't have a genuine pipeline also. Okay, then how hard are they working? Are they really making the calls? Are they sending the emails? Are they doing the meetings? Are they taking me for meetings? Ki, sir, aap bhi aao, milo customer se, dekho, I'm trying my best, nahi ho raha hai. That is the third thing. And if all three are not good, then we should very quickly decide ki, bhai, this person's not working out, and you let them go. So this is handling sales performance. How do I ensure CRM usage? We spend lakhs on CRM every year, but is my team using it? So what can I do to ensure CRM is being used? That's also part of sales cadence. So these are 5 of the components of the sales engine. If we can get these 5 components together, right, all 5 of them, we can get them running. Now you may say, bhai, 5 में से 4 चल गए तो क्या होगा? 5 में से 4 चल गए तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, धंधा फिर भी होगा. But it will not work like an engine. You will have to spend time on that part of the engine that is broken, right? Or that part of the engine that is not working. You have to analyze your business along these 5 parameters and see which one is not working, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you. Just a quick, if you are able to do all of these things, then the bullseye, we can hit the bullseye of our sales target very consistently, very reliably. Your investors will love you, your CEOs will love you if you are able to deliver business in this manner. So just 2 quick slides about Brokerage Consulting. We do consulting, training, coaching. We also recommend software to assist. So my purpose of creating this company is to help small and mid-sized companies improve their sales performance. I use this framework. This is my framework for analyzing a business. I look at which of these vectors needs to be corrected through consulting. If someone needs training on the sales process for their sales team, I do training. If someone needs one-to-one coaching, right, for their personal growth or for overcoming some challenge in their life or in their profession, I do coaching. And I recommend software which is complementary to what I do to help improve the sales performance. And this is about me, 25 years in the sales industry, expertise in sales process and attention to detail. That's what I am about. And thank you once more for your time. Any questions, comments? Now I'd be happy to take any questions that anybody has. I also have I also have created a quick survey for feedback. So while you're, while the questions are going on, if you all can just fill in that, I'll be very grateful. Thank you very much. We can open up for questions. Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, I think first of all, thank you so much, Siddharth. That was pretty quick and I think so relevant. All of us, that's the biggest pain area, as I can see. I've been working in this industry for long. And in fact, today's session was also largely directed towards that when Rajiv ji was sharing about his, plans and goals and strategies. So my question to you is, what is one thing which really stops people from creating or working on the sales engine? Is it, as you said earlier in the start, planning to fail, that setting up the goal that, okay, this is my goal, working on it, that how do I really achieve that, or then stopping somewhere in between? So that one thing which comes to your mind in your experience.
Well, as they say, when you're running a car, it is very difficult for you to look inside the engine. Right? You can't repair. You can't ask a mechanic, मैं गाड़ी चालू रखता हूँ, आप जरा repair करो उसको. So you need sometimes a mechanic who can come in Mechanics have the knack, right? They just put one finger inside the engine and tell you, sir, carburetor kharab, right? And you are struggling, but you don't know how to do it because you're running, you're running a business. You have so many things going on. Yaar, paisa aaya ki nahi, salaries pay karne hain. Arey yaar, ye product delivery is going late. Ye customer ka escalation hai. You're running after 100 things. So most of the time, it is a lack of bandwidth to, just take a step back and see what can I do to improve my business. So if you don't have the bandwidth to do it, hire somebody. Maybe if you're a big company, hire somebody to look at strategy and do these things. If you're a small company, hire a consultant to do it. I'm not saying hire me. This is not a sales pitch, but yeah, you hire anyone whom you trust, who's from your kind of business, who understands your business and has the depth of understanding these things, and then can come and set things right for you. Because in the normal course of running a business, it becomes very difficult for founders to do this. But once a founder has set up this engine like this, has set up the team, set up the cadence, set up the process, suddenly their time will be freed up. Because now all these pieces are in place, they are only managing those pieces, and looking at what needs to be tweaked here. And they're not running after 100 nameless, faceless problems. So then after that, they will have bandwidth to keep, tweaking. They don't need a consultant forever. Call somebody who can set this up for you. Once it's set up, let them go. Just keep them for a few months till it becomes part of the organization's DNA. After that, let them go. Manage it yourself.
Okay. One more question, Siddharth, and then maybe, guys, you can raise your hand in case you want to really ask any question. I know Siddharth is also running late. So, as Neena ji initially asked, and, at BANC, we have largely, small, medium business owners, but although, somewhere starting from 1 CR to up to 500 or 1000 CR kind of companies we have. Usually what happens is that as a CEO of the company, you are juggling so many balls all the time. You're trying to act like a CEO, CFO, CTO. You're trying to do everything, right? But I think sales is something which is very important and which keeps the entire engine, running. So how important it is to hire a sales team, or the CEO should hire other function leads largely related to, let's say, operations or back end or anything, and concentrate more towards sales, or it is good to have a salesperson as well? Oh, I think
Siddharth had some network.
Screen. Siddharth got stuck.
Right.
Okay. So guys, in the meantime, in case you have any questions, please, just ask. It's a great opportunity, and I think very, very relevant for all of us. Okay, Siddharth is joining again. Yeah, you're on mute. Yeah.
Siddharth, you are mute. Siddharth, you are mute.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. I thought you guys were disconnected, but I was the one who's getting disconnected. So sorry, just breathe.
That's okay. That's okay.
No worries. So yeah, that's what I wanted to understand, Siddharth. Sometimes it becomes very confusing that should we hire a sales team, or probably, I can do the sales best because I understand the DNA of the company. As you yourself mentioned that I got it, this is how it will work because probably I've been doing it. So, should we hire a sales team, or should, the CEO should be the salesperson, large in case of small, medium business owners who are running?
So that's a fairly simple thought. See, basically, in the beginning of the company, don't hire salespeople. When you have just started the company, to get your first 5-10 customers, the founder should be the salesperson. Founder knows the product inside out. The founder has the passion, the conviction, has the fire in the belly, right? So till you get your first 5-10 customers, it should be the founder or founders who are doing the selling. Once you've got 5-10 customers, you're clear ki bhai, what is it that customers are liking about my sales page? What is it that they're liking about my product? You have proved it yourself. After that, you hire a salesperson. Otherwise, what happens is you have just created a product and you just put it onto some salesperson and say, "Bhai, maal becho," and they are not able to sell, and you keep sacking them. When really the problem is not with the salespeople, it is with the product, or it is with the value proposition, how it is being pitched, or it is with the target audience, or whatever it is. So first, figure out yourself that, boss, what sells, what is the right pitch, what do I talk, how do I handle objections, how do I pitch my product, how do I ask questions. Figure it out yourself, and then after that hire salespeople. So that's what my view would be.